Some children don't remember being carefree. They don't remember a slow childhood filled with safety, play, or innocence. What they remember instead is responsibility, awareness, silence. They grew up too fast, not because they wanted to, but because life gave them no other choice. A child who grows up too fast usually learns early that the world isn't stable. Maybe they saw their parents constantly stressed, arguing, exhausted, or emotionally unavailable. Maybe they had to take care of siblings. Maybe they became the emotional support for adults who were supposed to protect them. In some homes, childhood ends quietly without anyone noticing. Psychologically, this kind of childhood forces the brain into survival mode. The child learns to scan the environment constantly. They read facial expressions. They notice tone shifts. They feel tension before words are spoken. This isn't intuition or maturity, it's hypervigilance. Their nervous system learned that staying alert was the safest option. These children often stop expressing their needs very early. Crying feels useless. Asking for comfort feels risky. So they become quiet, helpful, and independent. Adults often praise this behavior. They say things like, "You're so mature for your age." But what they don't realize is that this maturity was built from pressure, not peace. One of the strongest patterns in children who grew up too fast is emotional suppression. They learn to stay calm even when they're overwhelmed. They hide fear, sadness, and anger because emotions once felt unsafe or inconvenient. Over time, this turns into emotional numbness, not because they don't feel, but because feeling too much once caused pain. As they grow older, control becomes their coping mechanism. They plan everything. They overthink decisions. They prepare for worst-case scenarios. Control gives them a sense of safety that childhood never did. From the outside, they look responsible, reliable, and strong. Inside, they're trying to prevent chaos from returning. Rest is especially difficult for them. Doing nothing feels wrong. Relaxation triggers guilt. Their self-worth was built around being useful, needed, or strong. So slowing down feels uncomfortable. Even happiness can feel suspicious, as if something bad must be coming next. Trust is another major challenge. Children who grew up too fast learned that depending on others could lead to disappointment. So they become emotionally independent. They help everyone, they listen, they support, but when it's their turn to be supported, they pull away. Vulnerability feels dangerous, even when they crave connection deeply. Many of them feel older than their age, not physically, but mentally. Conversations with people their own age can feel shallow. They're drawn to depth, meaning, and emotional honesty. Their inner world developed early and it never really slowed down. They may struggle with relationships, not because they don't care, but because closeness feels unfamiliar. They're used to being the strong one, not the protected one. Love feels safest when they're giving, not receiving. Yet, there is real strength here. Children who grew up too fast often become deeply empathetic. They notice what others miss. They understand pain without explanation. They are resilient, thoughtful, and emotionally intelligent. But that strength came at a cost they were never asked if they were willing to pay. Healing begins when they realize something important. They are no longer that child who had to survive. They are allowed to rest, allowed to ask, allowed to be soft. Childhood may have been rushed, but safety can still be learned. Growing up too fast made them strong, but it doesn't mean they have to stay guarded forever. If this felt personal, you're not alone. This is why we are.